because it's morning, it's Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
People had a late Saturday night. You all know that you're here to see Michelle Gomez. My name is Moises Chudian. I host a few podcasts, one of them called Electric Shadow, about movies and TV and all that stuff. But again, you're not here to see me. You're here to see this lovely, magnificent, captivating woman who has rocked Doctor Who fandom. I think there is an entire Missy fandom at this point. One of the things that I like asking people about who work in creative fields is what they were fans of when they were kids. I hear a rumor that when you were 7 years old, you saw a production of Kiss Me Kate.
Oh, I did, yes. And I'm such a narcissist, I thought they were talking to me. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I can just jump about on stage. And then it took me 35 years to manage that.
What were you into as a kid? What were you a fan of? What did you want to watch on television? Were there movies that you were a fan of?
Doctor Who.
Everyone's familiar with this show. Blue Box, Big on the Inside, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, the Doctor Who, that was kind of it. I mean, I still can't quite believe that I'm on Doctor Who. But I am.
Now, this is a complicated question for anybody involved in the franchise, but did you have a favorite Doctor growing up?
Well, I think like your favorite Doctor is the Doctor that you grew up with. So my favorite Doctor was Tom Baker and Pertwee. So this is Pertwee Baker baton handover. So yeah, they were my favorite Doctors. But I mean, my favorite Doctor now is a human being that's living in this moment. It would be, well, of course, Peter Capaldi. The best Doctor, as far as I'm concerned.
So when you got was it an offer? Was it interested in reading for this part?
Well, now this is a funny story. It's going to be such an anticlimax. So I was offered another part in the Doctor's, in Peter's first season, and I couldn't do it because I'm an actor for hire and I was elsewhere being hired, and I was devastated that I couldn't be in two places at once because I don't have a TARDIS. Such a lame joke, but I love it. But I'm planning on getting my own TARDIS, but more of that later. So I had to say no, and I really was devastated because I thought that's going to be my only chance. Nobody, if you're an actor in Britain, says no to Doctor Who. So I felt moved to write a very grovelling letter to Stephen Moffat, and I said, you know, I'm mortified, I'm gutted, I'm disappointed, all the words I could find, summing up to explain my devastation, and that if he ever needed a high-cheekboned, blue-eyed villainess, I'm your man.
But this was not your first brush with Doctor Who. Anyone in here familiar with Big Finish, the audio drama?
Yeah, that was, wow, you're very good.
I'm going to blush.
Yeah, no, that was a while ago, and that was with Sylvester McCoy. And it was also fantastic.
Now, a number of actors who've worked on the show, and you're still working on the show, have gone...
Am I?
Well, I don't know. I see all these rumors. I'm not trying to get an answer out of you. I'm not one of those.
No.
But in theory, I don't know. It's possible. You're not shutting the door. You would come back if asked.
I'm not going anywhere.
So, as a fan of the show, have you ever knocked on Stephen Moffat's door? Hello. So, when are we doing the Two Masters? When are we doing me and Charles Sims?
You can't knock on Moffat's door and ask for anything more than him making you the master. That would be churlish and very ungracious. I've already hammered at his door, and he gifted me with the master. So I'm not going to ask for anything more. I will take suggestions.
So what is it that got you into the performing life in terms of training? Were you going to school for it? Is it something that you were doing amateur theater?
There's nothing amateur about me, darling.
Not once you got there. Not once you got there, then it's transformed.
I am one of life's laziest people. And when I was a young girl, and like being forced to read lots of serious books and stuff, I realised, oh, I can. If I become an actor, I never have to read again. And I threw my book away. I remember the moment I was in my bed, I was like, oh my God, reading's so boring. And then I was like, I'm going to be an actor, and I threw the book away. And then little did I know that if you're going to be a decent actor, you better know your stuff. So I reluctantly have sort of self-taught myself, and I'm now. I mean, I'm not an aficionado in any way, shape or form on any kind of literature, but I realised that it's the complete opposite of what I'd expected, and which is fine, because I should read. We should all read. Reading is good.
One of the things that really stands out about Missy is that we have this, not one note, not just 6 notes, we have dozens of notes in this woman, this persona that you embody. Who are some of the female performers or performances that have really inspired you, that you've really just latched onto? Movies you've seen, actresses you've seen that you're really into?
When you are possessed with a face that is built to play villains. I didn't really work much when I was younger. I didn't really have the ingenueuse button nose. So I've had to wait and grow into this face. So the ones that really inspired me, the women that really inspired me are kind of strong women, and women with larger noses, perhaps. And that doesn't make you, bad thing. But Angelica Houston is like this, just rocks, still rocks. Oh my God, where are you going with a Chad? No, Chad.
Everybody's back.
Come, Chad. Bring her back, just don't have her interrupt me again.
This is fine.
Yes. What was I saying? Oh yes, Angelica Houston with her large nose, right? Yeah, so no, I mean like really, strong women that just kind of, don't sit in the corner and wear cardigans eating cookies. Just, I don't know, it's like still blows my mind that I'm a 49-year-old action figure. I mean, Lucille Ball, I like a woman that knows how to fall down. And yeah, so they were my 2 gals that I really aspired to.
I wanted to jump back to Big Finish for a moment. There might be a few of us out there that when you and Jenna Coleman as Clara became something of a buddy comedy there for a little bit in the series, I think there's a fair number of us that really enjoyed that pairing and would just love, theoretically, for there to be further repartee between the 2 of you. Is that the sort of thing that you would be interested in doing down the road, with Big Finish as an option?
What, doing an audio thing?
Yeah, doing an audio thing with
Jenna? I'll do anything with Jenna. Although yesterday there's a picture going around that's being tweeted at the moment, and I didn't realise that Jenna was behind me. Jenna always manages to. She's a great. Like when it comes to having like a double act, you need to have like the funny guy and the straight guy. And she is like the best straight man. She makes me funny. Like I'm not funny without Jenna. Jenna?
Agent Jenna. Can we get a volunteer, please?
Jenna Coleman. And no, she's got great timing and she's really talented. And God, she's beautiful. And it's she's one of the best. I'd be happy to do anything with her in the future.
what's the environment like on set? Is it like a theatrical company? Because there's so much on the production side of things that stays very much the same. People who come in and go out and come back and so on. Is the kind of experience that you had working in the theater, or is it really much more kind of assembly line, get stuff done?
It's Britain. What I mean by that is that we don't have the money that you guys have in America to put on screen. We don't have those productions. We have great values, they're just not really in production because there's just not the money. So it is full on, you've got a lot to do in one day, and it's always very ambitious. And we get it done because I think that the Doctor Who crew is one of the best crews I've ever worked with, because each member of that crew is a fan. And so what they bring to the table is not only their skill, but their passion as well. They're not clocking on and clocking off, they want to get it done, and that's the real joy of the job. It's different to answer part 2B of your question. It is different.
I'm just a little nervous, can you tell?
Oh no, I'm nervous too, don't be sorry, it's fine.
I'm enjoying this now.
That's enough, it's getting to be inappropriate. But it's different from theatre because, it's a television set, so it's just, but what it does have is a sense of, an accelerated sense of family, because, you're all in there trying to do the same thing for not a lot of money.
I mentioned Kiss Me Kate earlier. In 2008, you were in The Taming of the Shrew with the Royal Shakespeare Company. There are a couple scenes up on their website. There are other theater nerds out here just like me. Very good. Now, are there other plays, works of theater that you'd love to play a particular part, be in a particular show?
I think I've got Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in me.
Woo!
Just think. Oh,
yeah.
You do.
That's, maybe when I'm slightly older, not that much older, maybe Osage County.
August Osage County, yeah.
That's a great play. Medea. I guess, obviously, Lady Macbeth. But, she's just got one good line and that's it.
Why Lady Macbeth? Why not just Macbeth?
Yes, of course, there is that. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'll do it.
All right, we start rehearsals in 6 weeks. I want to get some questions from the audience. You'll have to project. You'll have to use your theatrical hit the back wall voice.
Jump.
So, do we
Jump.
have questions?
Jump. Raise your hand, Rennie.
We have people with ears. Well, I have to start here, and then I'm going to go to you over here. For those in the back, she asked if what in her headcanon happened to the Master in between John Sims' last appearance and when Missy graced us with her presence.
She was in Bloomingdale's.
She was shopping.
A little Nordstrom's, just keeping it real. Just sniffing about for some bargains. Is that real?
Right over
Keep
here.
it up, Rennie. Just keep your hand up. Put it up.
Her favorite part of being on the show?
Meeting you.
Aww.
And the fact that you've turned up with the little fox ears really blows me away as well. I'm loving seeing all the fox ears here today because little Missy is a little fox ear.
Raise it higher, Rennie. You see how they're doing it like at
I'm
school.
not kidding, actually. That did sound like a joke, but it's true. My favourite part about being on the show is meeting you and you and all of you really, and just getting the chance to do these exhibition, but I haven't exhibited anything. But doing these conventions, I've never had a job like it where I get to have these one-on-one encounters with the fans. It's wonderful. So yes, you are my favourite part of the show.
See, nice young lady with a brooch here. Oh, that's you. Yes, you.
Yes,
Keep
you
up.
are a very creative and spontaneous actor, and I'm wondering if you have any formal training in improvisational acting, and if you do, how does that inform what you do?
Not yet.
No, I
It'll
just
probably be
have
next
had a lot of
when they're
rejection.
acting.
And when you get rejected pretty much every day of your life as a performer, and you grow a thick skin.
Do you remember what you're gonna ask?
And comedy is a place where I feel
If you
most
write it,
comfortable, I
set it up
suppose,
for
you know,
this.
because it's just, I just learned after various beatings in this industry that, you know, I can't take myself too seriously. And there was a time, I would try anything and everything when I was first starting out, you know, so there was a little, I found like, I would kind of top and tail a lot of lines, so, you know, there would be this wonderful script that I would have to work on, but then I'd like feel
Here,
the
you
need
can lean it on
to
me.
say something before and after, and then I did a little bit of comedy. I did like, well, actually I did one stand-up I did in LA. I just had my kid, my child, a human being. And,
Not a small goat. Not a small goat. As
my first child was a Jack Russell, but my second child was a human boy. And so, but it was like 9 months in, and I decided that I wasn't going to work at all. But like it was 9 months. Harry was 9 months old, and I remember I was sitting there going, "What have I done? What have I done?" And I got in the car. My husband came home, and I said, "Right, you take Harry." And he said, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I got in the car, and I ended up on Sunset Boulevard, and there was the Comedy Store. I was like, "I know the Comedy Store," and I went in. There was like an open mic night, and I had things to say. And I just like splurged. I did this whole rant about being a Scottish Mexican. That's what I am, apparently. And then like they asked me if I would come back and like play like the main stage on Friday nights for a year or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I'm a serious actress. And but I did it for one night, and then that kind of like started a sort of like improv thing. And then I did a show called Green Wing. A lot of that was improvised. They stuck us in a vault for 3 months with some writers, very talented writers, and we just improvised for 3 solid months. So throughout my career, you know, there's been that I keep sort of returning to this place that's very liberating as an actor, and again, Doctor Who's allowed me to be a little loose as well. So it's something I sort of accidentally fell into, that sort of, but no actual formal improvisational training, just lots of bullshit coming up.
Right here with the Tarbis iPhone case.
You may not get a chance.
Yeah. That was before most scenes when they're doing a lot of technical stuff. It takes a minute, you know. And I was like tied up to a gurney and couldn't move. And you don't want to do that with me for too long. But before most scenes, I like to kind of like chirp away or sing, or I kind of, you know, I normally have a little song, and it just sort of loosens everything up and changes the energy from being acting. And so I was just kind of like humming away, and you'll see the scene. I start singing, "Hey, Mr. Fine," and then I have a little giggle, and then the scene starts. And when I giggle, that's when what's on the page is it's said. And but they kept that in, and it's really kind of worked. And I don't know if I got the rights for it, but they did. So yeah, that was.
Let's go clear in the back.
Keep it up, honey.
I was just curious to know, when you first got the role of Missy, did they tell you who you were going that you were the master, or was it that you found out the next season after your last 2 minutes on the previous season?
No, I knew from the minute, well, after I'd written Stephen the groveling letter and then heard nothing, I was like, oh, well, my life is over. About a month later, my agent called, and she was also David Tennant's agent. So she really knows the world of Doctor Who, and she said,
that
"Where are you right
number.
now?" And I said, "Well, I'm in the living room." She said, "Are you standing up?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Do you want to sit down?" Sit down. I said, "Okay." So I sat down. She said, "So, do you want to play the Master?" And I was like, "What?" I remember breaking the word "what" because I said it like 100 times. What? 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 And she said, "But you need to keep that shit quiet." So for about a year, only my husband and my agent knew, and I just walked around with this Mona Lisa smile. I had like the answer to the universe. And so in that moment when I'm at St. Paul's Cathedral and I reveal it, I'm actually spewing it with joy.
Wave your arm when you do like that. Wave your arm.
There in the bag. Yep.
Hi. I just want to know, because you talked about Lucia Ball earlier, and I absolutely love your humor, witty, dry, right my alley. What were or are your current comedic influences?
What makes Missy laugh?
Huh?
Oh, I love Veep. Love, 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 love Veep.
Just about anything Armando Iannucci touches,
Yes.
it just turns to gold.
He can touch me. He can touch me.
Hold on a
anytime.
moment. Let me
In
send
fact,
him a direct message.
start tweeting
I'm going to
that.
send him a direct
Tweet that
message
right
real
now.
quick.
Missy should be in Veep. So yeah, that's one of my.
England probably needs a new prime minister in the show.
I love. Yes. What's this other guy? Louis C.K. is amazing, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I'm not very good at like those on-the-spot questions. So like in 10 minutes, I'm going to pebble dash you with 10 other examples.
Luckily, we have more than 10 minutes left. I'm going to go again in the back on the side.
There's obviously been a lot of really great masters. Are any of them in particular an influence for you?
I didn't, I get easily intimidated by other people's genius, and I'm lazy, which I've mentioned before, so I didn't do any research. But which kind of worked for me because I didn't want to, I wanted the Master this time round, I wanted it to be as fresh as possible, and I would say if I had to pick one of them, there's probably because I also have, if you're closer to me than you are now, you'll see that I also have quite a handsome moustache. So Delgado is probably like my separated at birth master. I would have that. It's probably there's a little bit of him in there, but in hindsight, I can see that now. But I really didn't want to look at anybody else. I wanted just to come at it fresh.
If I could follow up on that, in working with Peter on the show, were you, the two of you, able to meet and kind of chat about what you were looking at doing with the dynamic, or was it you got together on the day and that was when the character work started?
Yeah, it's Britain, so we don't have a process. We just
Wiggle it.
turn up and say it.
I hate LA. I love everything that you said.
No, it's true, but we don't. Again, it's a time thing. We don't have time to do that, you know. And if it's theatre, then you have a chance to have a lot more sort of beard stroking and chatting about what you're using. But on television, especially in Britain, you know, you hit the ground running. And I met Pete and Jenna. Pete, my friend. Petey boy. I met Pete and Jenna on the day, my first day. And I knew Peter actually because we're both from Glasgow. We have a mutual friend, so we kind of know each other from before, but we'd never worked before, and we hadn't discussed what we were going to do before. We met the read-through, and then we took it from there.
That makes it all more magical. We have a kid up here in the front section, right? Favorite food from New York?
Bagels.
Question.
It's the water, right? That's what they say?
Yeah, the water's great, but that's not really food.
Yeah. Oh, that's what makes the bagel so good, is what they say, I guess.
Oh, I see.
That's
Yes,
the legend.
Of course, yes. Yes. Well, if I was tall, informed, I would have known that. But I'm not.
My legs are
Right
wobbly,
here.
wobbly.
How would you compare Missy's relationship with the doctor versus Donna's relationship?
I think the thing about, which really came to the fore in the second series for us, was this very nice texture about us being really old friends. And it was a good fit for Peter and I as well, because we're from the same hometown and we have mutual friends. It was sort of natural kind of familiarity there. So that really worked, I think, in our favour on the day. And also, I love the notion of having had, when you're young and you have these really intense friendships, and then through certain circumstances, it could be going off to a different college or a different city, you kind of drift apart, and then you come back together again, and it's just kind of, it's a little awkward. It doesn't seem to, you sort of changed, and it doesn't seem to work anymore. Or there's those friends where you definitely just delete from your contacts, and then you meet them at a party, and you remember why you deleted them. And that's sort of in there as well. So I think it's a very rich relationship that I think that Peter and I have created. There's a believability about it, hopefully. And with the John Sims part of your question, I didn't see him do any of that. I mean, it's not that I didn't see him do any of that richness. I just didn't watch it.
Poor Hannah. Didn't watch it. Right.
I was watching Veep.
Right here with the lovely flower.
It's you, baby.
If you could write a Doctor Who episode, what would it be about, and would it have Captain Jack Harkness in it?
Yes, okay, so opening titles. Missy comes running in, and then so does Captain Jack. And then I shake his hand and go, hi, and he goes, hey. And then I jump on his back. And then a dinosaur comes in, and both of us jump on the dinosaur's back, and there's a big water slide, and balloons, and usually handbags. See you later. All right, getting in line for the autographs, huh? All right. Well, the thing about my husband is that he's married to me. And we've been together, next year will be 20 years. He knows all my tricks. And he said to me more than once, I will never work with you. Well, okay, yes, that'll go in a suggestions box for Stephen Moffat. I know Jack will immediately reject that. Sorry.
Right here.
How would you compare your experience working on Doctor Who versus your experience working on Gotham, since they're both big, huge fans?
Well, it's surprising the Gotham comments that I'm getting, because really, you blink and you miss me. On Gotham, I had 4 lines and a fall down. I had 4 lines and then I fell down. And that was kind of it. And also, she's called the Lady, and now I've got the Mistress. I mean, I don't have any real character names. The Armpit, played by Michelle Gomez. So I don't the lady was, the script I got was going to get killed at the end, and then I turned up, and they didn't kill me. So there may be more of the lady, but I don't know, I can't officially say yay or nay to that. Yeah, it's me playing it, you know, I'm channeling it through this mouse, so there's a lot of me in both the lady and the mistress. Is that I'm saying it?
Okay.
Having taken on the master as being a main, you know, since the master's until you was male, how has that kind of changed, and how's that feel coming into that, and trying to make it so much your own, and trying to adapt to the gender difference? Is that?
Yeah, I did, again, you know, I don't really think about these things, because if I do, you know, it just sort of tightens me up a bit, so I try just to sort of put that huge responsibility to one side, and forget that from the waist down I'm a woman. And from the waist up.
I'm sure there's no one who writes for a Doctor Who blog in the room. All the way in the back of the middle. Yep.
Alright, so it seems like you and Peter, was it not me?
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, you started to
Go ahead, you
finish.
started to.
Okay. It sounds like you and Peter and Jenna have a really good chemistry on the set. What is the craziest, funniest hijinks that, or if you guys mess with each other on the set or whatever, that you've gotten up to, and preferably something that really hasn't been told?
Do you behave yourselves, or are you naughty?
We don't have time, really, honestly, to play too many jokes on one another.
What about the runners?
Well, there's children in here. But what have you heard? Does it involve 2 apples and a banana?
I guess that was the end. So, yeah, you back there, yeah.
Hi. So Missy is my favorite homicide maniac. Unfortunately, they don't have a picture of her, and if they did, I would sort of buy it from the second favorite. My question is, being that Missy is a homicide maniac, what is your favorite part of playing such a crazy?
I just love the fun of her. You know, there's a kind of joy to her, or maybe it's just I'm having too much fun. But I just think she's so kind of cheeky and charming, and then she has to kill me. So it's just, you know, I just love that. She's just a little minx, you know. She's a joy to play. It's a wonderful part for me. Thank you.
Right here in the front.
Yeah, so following on that, when you have a very charismatic villain, there's always that risk that the showrunner might turn them slowly into a hero because people love them and want to see more of them, and they can't keep them having feelings. Would you be okay going in that direction, or would you want to try to stay true to the matter and keep her a dangerous villain or something?
No, I'm not turned good. Annihilating.
Right here, right on the aisle.
If you could have your own TARDIS and your chameleon circuit broke, what would you want your
Oh,
TARDIS to be
then
stuck
it's
as?
getting even darker. Is it
Is someone leaning on a switch?
No, now I'm getting better video.
Isn't it? It's slapping somebody like,
Oh my god, I'm
gorgeous in the dark. Okay, where were we?
If you could have your own TARDIS and your chameleon circuit broke, what would you want your TARDIS to be stuck as?
A Gucci handbag.
Gucci handbag. Designer, baby.
Right here.
Rachel Caroline told some stories about how while you guys were shooting in St. Paul, that she really enjoyed watching them use Peter's her hair. Because I think you had a hoodie at one point. And then there were some perhaps hijinks going on. I wonder if you could share any of those stories about location filming.
Well, St. Paul's was phenomenal. I mean, it was like, it's possibly one of the best days of my life, apart from marrying Jack, of course. Oh, and there's the sun. Jack Russell's still at that. So there's the doors of St. Paul's Cathedral are enormous, and that itself is quite awesome. But apparently, only the Queen and the Mayor are allowed to walk through those large doors at St. Paul's Cathedral, and also Peter Capaldi and Michelle Gomez. We got clearance to be able to actually cross the threshold of those large doors. Meanwhile, the crew had to go in the side doors. And I'm not kidding. But so Peter and I were doing quite a lot of just, you know. Did that for a while and enjoyed it. And we're the tall gracious about our being allowed, the only ones being allowed in and out.
Shall we go in? Shall we go in again? Yes. Let's just go in. Just for fun.
Yeah, yeah, so that was really incredible. It was wonderful.
Over here at the end. Oh. You, and then you.
Actually, one more question. You said the missing songs that just kind of stuck in there. There were some others that line that kind of seemed like throwaway lines, but that fit the character very well, like, let me do it again. How many of those are scripted, and how many of those just kind of come out of your head?
Most of it is, I would say, 99.9% Stephen Moffat. And the reason why some of them are little ad-libs here and there, but not as many as you might think. And the reason why it seems so comfortable in my house, okay, cancel, continue. It's because Stephen knows me very well, and so he writes for me now, especially in the second series. So he just knows my voice, and so for me, it's very, very comfortable. Thank you.
Right here. Favorite outtake?
There's not. Honestly, there aren't that many. We're lucky if we get a second take. We're going so fast. So that's a bit of a disappointing answer. I can make one up, but it wouldn't be clean.
Every doctor has a t-shirt, like 11 and 12 might have some that I haven't seen. What would Missy's t-shirt be?
As in what number?
Like a fandom t-shirt. Like my doctor is on 11's t-shirt, but Missy doesn't have a t-shirt yet.
No.
No.
Okay, what would it be?
Yeah, like design-wise.
Oh, I don't know. It would be good. It would be really good.
It would be a picture of Michelle with a black gold Gucci handbag.
Yes. Coming out of it. Just stepping out of it, because it would be a large one. Thank you. Like a carpet bag, like the one that Mary Poppins uses. And it would just be me. Thank you so much for taking care of it. That's a very good idea. And,
I'm just saying, if people have black and gold Gucci handbags just sitting around, they're looking for someone to give them to.
Oh yeah. I'd be happy to accept it.
Right here.
What would be in your bag?
Oh, what would be in it? It would be Versailles.
Versailles.
Yeah, the whole of Versailles. Not the suburbs. Just downtown Versailles.
Clear in the back there, you've had your hand up for a little while. Yep.
Are you in fact Mary Poppins?
I am the most evil woman of the universe, yes. According to Jack.
Since you've been doing some conventions for a while, what's the weirdest thing fans ever done to you?
Done to you. I don't know that they get that far.
Oh, they get pretty far. If they look right.
Any particularly interesting things people have brought you, so
Yes,
were unexpected?
yes. There was one guy who was gorgeous, and he was dressed as Missy, and he ripped open his blouse. And he said, "Can you sign my chest?" And I haven't done many of these conventions, but I'm still quite new at this point, and I'll be really better any minute now. But and he wanted me to sign "Vote Missy" on his chest. I'm so glad you're here because you can explain that to me later. And so I did that, right? And then the next day my agent sent me a photograph of him. It was like an Instagram picture, and he was still dressed as Missy in a tattoo parlor, and he'd had it tattooed on his chest.
Woo!
I'm not signing any more flesh. That's a huge responsibility because my handwriting is not great. That's on there for ever. Yeah, so that's been the oddest so far.
Right there. The excellent glasses, yes.
I feel like I've done it already. I was like Davros, just like right in his little stinky eye. That was a good day for me. I felt good about myself after that. Yeah. And there was a doorbell attached to it.
We're going to take a couple more and just a bit of housekeeping. At the end, we'll applaud for Our Lady, our Missy, and if you'll keep your seats, please, so that we can get her raced out the door into the next magical adventure. This gentleman here.
What is one characteristic of Missy that you would like to take into your everyday life?
What's terrifying about that question is that there's a fine line between Missy and Michelle. And I think I have already adopted most of them. Yeah.
We're going to take two more. I have to go with this doctor right here.
Well, it's our friend.
Missy, first of all, I loved your hanging up in Dallas.
Oh, thank you.
But if Missy could go up against any of the other doctors, which one do you think she would have liked to see her go up against?
All of them.